Hi, my name is Anissa Romo. I went to the Odessa College Fire Academy. I recently graduated, and now I'm one of the newest members of the Odessa Fire Rescue. So about 2 years ago, I started doing CrossFit, and as time passed, I got a lot better at it, and then I realized I really loved it. So they have the CrossFit Games, and a lot of those athletes, the big athletes, some of them are firefighters. So as I got more into it, I started thinking if I was in good shape, I could probably put that to good use. And so that's what interested me in becoming a firefighter. The hardest part of the academy, I believe, was the physical part of it. It was more mentally challenging than anything, because when we were out in the sun and it's 80, 90 degrees and you have 50 pounds worth of equipment on you and gear, it takes a toll on your body. So definitely I knew that I had to be hydrated for that day and also get plenty of rest. And I knew that after I was done with the academy for that day that I was going to be really tired. It was hard, but it also taught you a lot, because you didn't understand how far you can actually push your body. And I believe I was surprised with myself on what I could do, and because also my fear of heights. So that was challenging for me, and knowing that I could just get up there and do it, and after I did it, it's a little bit of a surreal experience. Going through the online course at the Fire Academy and also the training on Saturdays was a challenge for me, being a single mother, just because my son also goes to school, so I have to make sure his homework gets done, my homework gets done, so it's kind of juggling two things, and also always having someone to watch him on Saturdays, because it was an 8 to 5 thing. But my family was very supportive and they helped me a lot, and it hurt me to leave him for that long, and it took a lot of time out of me, so I think that suffered a little bit. But having him watch me do what I was doing and me explaining it to him, he understood a lot what I was doing, and just knowing that he was proud of me, and this is a temporary thing, we just got to get through it until I finish. So during the Odessa College Fire Academy, we had a family day, and my family got to watch us do the simulations of the fire. My mom and my dad came out to support, also my brother and my son, and it was very moving and a very good day for us, because when they saw me going through it and seeing firsthand what I do, I know they enjoyed it, and they told me that they were very proud of me. So it was very exciting time for me. Being a female was definitely very intimidating. Doing the physical training and stuff with the guys that we did in the Odessa College Fire Academy, I wanted to be able to keep up with them and not be the weak link. I wanted to try to, hang with them, and so it was a lot of fun. I definitely trained a lot for it and prepared myself for it, and it's a very mentally challenging as well. I want them to know that I can be just as useful as they can, and that if their life was in danger, that I could be there for them and they wouldn't have to worry about it, as well as me trusting them, and that goes a long way, is trust and knowing that you can count on each other. And I wanted them to know that they could count on me, and just because I was a female, I wasn't going to let that get in the way. So going through Odessa College Fire Academy, at the beginning we were all very distant towards each other, all the students and myself, and as we got to know each other better and went through it more, we all grew very close, and that's the reason I believe that the fire service is that way, is because you do depend on each other, and you want your partner to go home as well as you go home. So I believe that's why you have to build that bond, and you might not always like everybody that you work with, but you have to be able to get along with them and have their back ultimately. Going through the live fire at the academy was a bit scary, just knowing that it wasn't exactly quite like a regular fire, but it was close. It was organized, but they wanted to make it seem the way it was, so you had to hurry, and then you're nervous. So it was a bit challenging. When we got into the building and got to sit at the fire, it was really hot, and it made you realize exactly how hot it was going to be in those fires, and we just sat there. So it wasn't quite like going through everything and actually having people in fear of their lives, and that's what made it kind of different. At the academy, working with all the equipment was definitely new to me. I know what a fire hydrant is, obviously, but I never got to take the lid off or any of that. So learning how to use those and learning the tools necessary to do all that, it was new to me, but it was a good learning experience. Pulling the hose, they were definitely really heavy, a lot heavier than I expected, and just something as simple as pulling the hose off the truck was still pretty hard. After graduating from the fire academy, was May 17th when I graduated, and I applied for the Odessa Fire Department. On June 2nd, we did the new hire test. I went in for the written test, and if you do not pass the written test, you do not go on to the physical test. The written test was not as hard as I expected. I actually went out thinking it was super easy, but I didn't make a really high grade, but I did pass the written test, so I went on to do the evolution. I was really nervous about the evolution, but I knew that I would be able to get it in the time required, but I did want to get a really fast time because you want to make a good impression and you want to be up there high on the list. I believe I did really well. I had a lot of adrenaline pumping through my veins at the time, so I don't really remember a lot of the physical part of the test. I just remember going and not stopping, and at that time I got to meet a lot of the guys that were trying out and a lot of the guys that got hired now. After my interview, I feel like it went really well, and I went home, and a few weeks later I got a call from Chief Huber. He was asking me about my certifications because I had to hurry up and get those turned in, and that's when I really got excited, thinking, hey, I might get this job. And a few weeks after that, Chief Boyd called me and scheduled an interview with me. I thought the captains made me feel really comfortable, but Chief Boyd really made me feel like it wasn't an interview at all. He talked to me about not only about starting with them, but what to expect, because he told me that as much as they wanted me, they wanted to make sure that this is what I wanted. Then he offered me a job, and of course I accepted, and I was extremely excited. Going through the badge pinning ceremony was very emotional for me, just because my brother had been through it and having my whole family there, and my dad has helped me a lot, and so has my mom, and so I know that they were very proud of me. And also having Chief Boyd there, his words were very encouraging and very inspiring, so I enjoyed it a lot. Going through the academy and getting actually hired on as soon as I finished the academy, I feel like I've been given a really big opportunity, especially being a woman, and I do feel that you have to work 10 times as hard just to equal to a man. And for those women that want to do something like that or are interested, they definitely need to be aware that it's very hard, physically, mentally. Although it's a male-dominated profession, it's not impossible going through it. You can become a firefighter. I did it, and I know that it was a lot of fun. It taught me a lot about myself. Things I didn't think were possible for me, I overcame. And I just want other women to know that no matter what, you can always accomplish your dreams. And if being a firefighter is your dream, I definitely say go for it. I was a bit intimidated at first, but the guys even here, once you prove yourself to them, they know that they can trust you, and they will make you feel like you're their sister. And a lot of the guys at the academy would call me their sister, and they were my brothers. And I enjoyed it a lot.